Enchanted Tiki Talk is brought to you by Kingdom Strollers. Our premium stroller and crib rentals are delivered straight to your Disney or Orlando area resort. It couldn't be easier. Book yours at kingdomstrollers.com. And Mouse Pros. Let our travel specialist plan your next vacation. Our concierge level service gives you the perfect hassle-free vacation. Get your free quote from Sean or any of our magical agents at mousepros.com. And Mickey Monthly, the Disney fans' monthly subscription box that brings the magic right to your door. Visit them at mickeymonthly.com. And now, it's show time!
Vahidi Mekyoni Mana, ladies and gentlemen, no flashbulbs, please. Our performers are temperamental and easily upset. Thank you for your cooperation.
Oh, look at all the people.
My goodness, you're all staring at us. We better start the show rolling.
Wait, we forgot to wake up the Glee Club.
Hey, howdy, hey, and welcome to Enchanted Tiki Talk. We are your hosts. I'm Sean.
I'm Keith.
I'm Matt.
I'm Scott.
And I'm Alan.
So grab yourself a Dole Whip or a citrus roll, pull up a chair, and enjoy the show. This is episode 229 for the week of March 11th, 2018. Hello everybody and welcome to Enchanted Tiki Talk. As you can hear in my voice, I sound a little bit different. Well, I've been sick and didn't have a voice for a few days. And that's one of the reasons why this is going to be a different type of show this week. As you can actually hear, I am the only person on Enchanted Tiki Talk, so my apologies in advance if the show is not what it normally is. We tried to record this week, and both Scott and Keith weren't available, and it was supposed to be me, Matt, and a couple listeners, and I was sick. I wasn't able to record. I lost internet, and then I got sick after that, and nobody was able to record again, and I'm actually recording this episode really, really early Monday morning in hopes to not have a skipped episode of Enchanted Tiki Talk, because I don't think we've missed one since we started in 2010, so I wanted to keep that streak going. I was laying in bed and I was thinking to myself, wow, I just can't let this happen. I need to put some sort of episode out, so I've decided to get out of bed, climb down here, and record a show. So once again, I'm sorry if my voice doesn't sound too good, and it's going to be a little bit different. It's just going to be me talking, so if you're hoping to hear some of your favorite Tiki Birds, unfortunately they are not here. It's just me, but I will try to do my best to entertain you and give you some of my Disney views here on this episode. I don't think it'll be that long, maybe 2-3 hours at most. I promise it won't be longer than that. So, and with that, I'm actually not going to take any sort of break this week. I'm just going to keep the episode rolling, so we don't have to do anything like that. Since nobody else is here, I'll just let it go, for my own time's sake, so I can get into bed. Losing that hour of sleep yesterday was kind of hard. And starting work, later this morning is going to be even harder. So, I'm going to lose more sleep. So, I apologize for that. And listen out there is actually no shame in skipping this episode if it's not something that you really want to be interested in listening to. I just wanted to get one out there. I don't want to disappoint everybody that's been out there, because I know I've been putting episodes out later on Monday. The last couple of months I've been running later into Mondays, especially on the holidays, so I'm really, really sorry for that. So, with that, I just wanted to talk about some of the trips that I've actually taken to Disney World. As of recording in March 2017, I've actually done 31 trips to Walt Disney World. And with that, my first trip was in 1984, and I stayed off-site at a Days Inn, which was over by people that are familiar, I think it was Old Town or Old Orlando. There was a Days Inn there, and the same thing for my next trip was a Days Inn in the same area. It's something else now, I don't remember. But the first time I actually stayed on site was actually in 1993, and I stayed over at I think it's the Buena Vista Suites, I think, over there, which is now Disney's Saratoga Springs. I apologize, yeah, Saratoga Springs now. And, we stayed over there. We rented a golf course. Listen to me. We rented a golf cart, and we actually we're able to take that over to Disney Springs, and I tried Chef Mickey's for the first time because that's where the original location to Chef Mickey's is at Disney Springs until they moved it over to the Contemporary at some time in the 90s. But it was the first time there. It was in 1993, staying over in that area. From then on, I guess I was considered, I don't know if I was considered a deluxe resort, but they were like condos at the time. So I remember it being a 1-bedroom, and we had I don't know if it was a kitchenette or full kitchen. I don't quite remember. The only thing I do remember is sleeping on the pull-out couch and our room flooding, and parents getting a couple nights free in their stay, so that worked out for them, more money in their pocket. But with that, I've pretty much had a streak going actually since 2004. Since 1999, I've gone to Disney at least once, except for 1 year in 2003, which was the year before I got married, and it just wasn't feasible for us to do that with saving everything for the wedding. So, it's a pretty good streak going on that I've been going on that long, so I am happy that I've had so many years going, and the next trip we have going planned for this year is hopefully to be in November. The first week of November, I'm hoping to do the 10K, the Wine and Dine. I want to give that a shot. I feel that the 5K, I really enjoyed doing the 5K last year, and I think I wanted to do a little bit more with that. I just had so much fun running it, and I actually want to try to run this time, because the 5K, there's so many, I know there's a lot of people in the 10K, but the 5K has a lot more people in it, and I want to actually try to run a little bit more of the course, because I was so stoked and excited when I actually got a chance to do that. So that's one of my goals, is to try to finish the 10K. I don't think I'll need anything past that, but hey, it's worth a shot, I think. So yeah, that's like my goal for this year, is to try to pull that off, because I want to take a chance in doing that, and hopefully I can. Nobody else from the Tiki Talk is going to be on it, but it is what it is. It's fine. I'll enjoy it. Next, one of the things is I became a DVC member. I'm going to be jumping around a lot, but I became a DVC member in 2008. We bought via resale, and we had talked about for several years, since my wife and I one of the first trips we made was in 2002. It was 2002 together, and that's when I started to understand DVC a little bit more, but it ended up taking us 6 years to pull the trigger before we actually did end up buying DVC. So in 2008 was the first time we stayed on Disney property, and that was at the Wilderness Lodge, because that was our home where we purchased, and we got to stay there for the first time, and we loved it. Previously, we were going to the Wilderness Lodge anyway, staying there using the annual pass discount, which was really nice from 2002 on till 2008. We were getting room rates without tax. I think it was like $135 a night to stay at the Wilderness Lodge itself, and prices started to go up and up. I think it was up to, by 2008, I think it was like $175. You weren't really getting those good discounts. The days were getting harder and harder to get those discounts with the AP. So that's one of the reasons why I told my wife Sharon, I said, we really should pull the trigger and buy DVC, because this would enable us to afford to go to Disney every single year. And we plan on having kids, and I want to make sure that we can do something like that, and we could take them to Disney and afford to continue to take them to Disney. And because of DVC, we have been able to do that. So I'm extremely grateful in that, because you're looking at I have 125 points total, so I think 75 are at Wilderness Lodge and 50 are at Old Key West, and I'm paying, I want to say $750, $800 a year in maintenance fees, something around those lines. So, and I'm all paid off of my DVC at this point, 10 years later. But, with that, it's like, holy cow, I'm only spending $800, and I can get as many as, if I'm lucky, I can get about a 10-day trip, on the low point of time of year, like September, January, a couple weeks in December, staying at Old Key West or staying at Boardwalk if it's available. I can get those days, which is a really, really nice thing. But typically we'll stay 6-7 nights, maybe 8 nights. like this year we're planning to do 8 nights, but because of DVC has enabled us to do that. And I have nothing against staying at the All Stars at all. I know I bust some of the people's chops with that, but there's nothing wrong with that at all. They're great resorts. I've stayed there this past November with my friend Fred when we went down for the Wine and Dine 5K down there. So it was fine. The rooms were a lot better than the last time I remember. The resort was great. Everything was clean. I have no complaints there. There's a lot of people when you're staying at the All-Stars. That's the only downside. But hey, that's fine. Everybody's there having a good time, so I have no complaints there. But being DVC members has its ups and downs. And ups and downs, like, why am I saying this ups and downs? Because you can never have enough points for DVC, in my honest opinion. Only having 125 points, I want to get into like 175 point area so we can do a lot more. We can get into the 1 bedrooms because we're only staying in studios. Because when you have the 1 bedroom, it's a little bit more space. It's a little bit nicer. You make it feel like a real vacation. You can cook in your room if you want, or keep your fridge stocked of anything you possibly can imagine, not have to worry about rushing out to the parks and eating and doing whatnot. So that is an end goal for us at some point. But we love staying at Wilderness Lodge. We love staying at Old Key West, but Wilderness Lodge is definitely my favorite resort, but the Polynesian is probably number 2. I love the Polynesian. Now, the first time I got to stay there was in 2016 and 2015. I never thought in my life that I was ever going to get to stay at the Polynesian, but because they had DVC, that opened up my doors there to stay there, and I absolutely love staying at the Polynesian. Growing up, it was always the Contemporary. My first trip in 84, maybe 89 is when I really wanted to stay at the Contemporary. I don't remember, but it's one of those 2 trips, 84, 89, where I'm like, I need to stay at the Contemporary because the monorail's going through the Contemporary, and you're like, this is the greatest thing. But as I got older, I really loved the laid-back feel of the Polynesian, and I wanted to spend more time at the Polynesian. And because of DVC, we got to stay there. If anybody who's never stayed at the Polynesian before, you should definitely give it a try, even if it's just for 1 night. It's a completely different type of stay. It's like a vacation unto itself. You get off the bus and you go to check in, you get laid, you get those lays that go on, they're plastic, hey, but they're fun. That's one thing I love about it. It's they give you that Hawaiian or Polynesian feel when you're checking in. It's a gorgeous resort. It's so vast. Walking around the grounds, you don't feel like you're necessarily in Florida, except for the heat and the humidity, that'll make your skin drip. But the music playing on the grounds, the sounds, the smells, everything around you, it's just so relaxing. You feel like you're somewhere else other than Florida. So I love that. I enjoy the Polynesians. It's just a vacation. It's like a place you can go and have a vacation. I don't get that feel at some of the other resorts. I do at Wilderness Lodge. I do at Old Key West, but staying at the Contemporary last year, I didn't get that same type of feeling. The Boardwalk, I didn't get that feeling. Yacht Club, I have not gotten that feeling. But sometimes I think it's just more the person per se than it's necessarily the resort, because that's my style. Because I know people that might like a different, might like the Contemporary, only stay at the Contemporary because that's the only style that they like. While the rooms are incredible, it's the resort. It's good, it's nice, but it's not someplace where I would call home. Like, I'd step in there and be like, I'm home. That's reserved for Wilderness Lodge and the Polynesian and Old Key West. And Old Key West is nice because that is like completely laid back. That's a place you go where you really have no plans but to just hang out at the resort and do nothing. If that's what you want, Old Key West is like the perfect place for that. You want to spend some time at the Springs, take the boat to the Springs, and you'll have a great time staying at Old Key West. And that's the beauty of Disney World. There's so many 20-something different resorts that anybody, you can stay anywhere, any one of these resorts, and have a different type of feeling. Your personality might not mesh at one resort, so go to another one. Granted, you can't really do that on a trip, but at least for the future. And that has been a blessing with DVC, allowing us to try so many different resorts, and I'm grateful for that, and I'm happy that we have become DVC members. I'm sure there's a lot of little things when it comes to DVC that I could talk about, but off the top of my head, I just can't think of anything. Sometimes it gets hard booking resorts at certain times of year. If you want to go to, if your home resort isn't like Beach Club or Boardwalk, it's kind of hard getting that when it's food and wine, because everybody wants to walk out of Epcot and go right to the room. And having those resorts, it's hard, and it gets harder once you get inside that 7-month window to get somewhere other than your home resort. So DVC is great for some. It doesn't work for everybody. For those people who want their room cleaned up for them every day, hey, that's not going to happen with DVC. But it's more a vacation home than it is anything else. I have stayed at Coronado Springs, and that was last year, and I really enjoyed Coronado Springs. I know it's going to be changing with all the things that they're doing now, but hey, that's fine. It is what it is. It's the future. They're adding more rooms. They're trying to become a little more upscale for their business class travelers and their convention that are happening there. So that's good for that. Disney building new resorts, which is unbelievable. I just wish they would build a 5th gate at this point, because of the amount of rooms in hotels are adding on. That I think they need that 5th gate at Walt Disney World, because the crowds are becoming so immense, especially at the Magic Kingdom. They need to have something else to trigger people away. Star Wars Land, that's going to open up, and you're going to add more people to studios, but that's still going to add more people coming down to Disney with all the extra resorts. They're still going to need more space, so I'm hoping that a 5th gate will come back into the future. I'm just so grateful about being fortunate enough to have so many trips, and I don't take that for granted, because I know some people only go once in their lifetime, go once every 4 years, and they want to go more, but it's just so expensive. And just because I purchased DVC in 2008, I'm telling you, this is the only reason why I'd be going. Otherwise, I wouldn't even be able to afford to go to an All-Star, because I like to go for, make both multiple trips per year or stay longer. But at the current rates of All-Stars, you're looking at like $175 a night for a lot of nights during the year. So I just could not justify that myself going down to Disney World. So thankfully, with DVC and having the ability to purchase a DVC annual pass has definitely come into my favor. So I'm thankful for that. I'm also thankful that my wife has come to love Disney a lot more. She liked it, and she loves it more, but she sees the joy that our kids have with it, and our kids have grown with Disney. My son Connor, who's 7 now, his first trip was I think it was 5 months old. I think it was 5 or 7 months old. He was just a baby, and we took him down there, and he enjoyed it even at that age. And I just hate when people say, I don't want to take my kid when they're still young, because they're not going to remember it. But listen, hey, you love Disney, you love going down there for whatever reason it is to get away. Just keep doing it. Get your kids used to traveling and seeing things, because you'd be amazed how much better they are with things that may be stressful in their lives, things that are new. They're used to going on a bus, so they might not be worried about getting on a bus going to school, going on to a subway, because they've gone on a train ride, they've gone on a boat. There's Disney is wonderful because your kids are exposed to so much. There's so many different cultures, especially when it comes to Epcot. Don't be afraid to take your young child there, especially when they're under the age of 3. Take advantage of that, because you're not paying for them to get into the park. And my daughter Kelsey, I think she was 7 months old. She was a little bit older. I think Connor was 5 and Kelsey was 7 on their first trips. And the same thing, Kelsey loves it too. I don't think as much as Connor. She's more, well, she's a girl, number one, meaning that there's a difference between boys and girls when it comes to the parks, at least with my kids. My son Connor he's definitely a little bit more go like me, whereas Kelsey's a little bit more laid back. She doesn't go around. She likes to observe things a little bit more. That's more like my wife. My wife's definitely more of a people watcher. I think Kelsey kind of does that a little bit more too. and Connor likes he's starting to like the thrill rides a little bit more. Kelsey is a little bit more laid back. Her favorite thing is still is the Small World, and I love riding that and seeing the joy that she gets going on that attraction. It's so much fun for me and so much fun for her to experience it. As you can hear my voice a little bit, I'm starting to lose it, so I'm not going to go on too much longer, and I'm probably boring everybody to death because I'm really just rambling, not really talking about too much, but it's just been great having kids that have loved Disney as much as they do, and it's because as we as parents, as Disney fans have loved it, they have become to love it as well. Taking a step back from that, the couple of news things that have happened the last couple of days. I know the citrus swirl is no more over at Sunshine Tree Terrace. Nobody here to make fun of me. This is great. They removed the citrus swirl and it's called the orange swirl. Now they've made it more vegan friendly, so it's no more citrus. They changed the recipe to become vegan friendly. So when you're going to the Sunshine Tree Terrace, make sure you ask for a orange swirl and not a citrus swirl. I'm hoping it hasn't changed the flavor too much because I'm more of a citrus swirl fan than I am a Dole Whip fan. So, except when you go like the Dole Whip and throw some rum in there. But that's something great. I'm looking forward to trying the new recipe, and I hope it's good. Other news out there is that it's talking about DVC. There's a new DVC lounge for people who are staying at the Wilderness Lodge, called Reunion. I forgot the name of it. Reunion something over at Wilderness Lodge, and you have to purchase the Reunion Station. You have to purchase the length of stay. For concierge level for your length of stay. So if you're there for 5 nights, 6 nights, everybody in your room you can't just get it for one night. You have to get it for your length of stay, and it's $50 for adults and $33 for kids, I believe. And there's going to be a continental breakfast in the morning, then there'll be some appetizers and drinks available the rest of the day. So as DVC members and you're staying there, you have to try to decide if that's something that's going to be worthwhile for you. Let's see. They have started the Tron coaster construction inside the Magic Kingdom. That has begun. Let's see, is there anything else? There is a new Pixar-themed childcare at the Contemporary Resort, and I know that starts sometime in April. I think I want to think like Tax Day around there, something like that. But it's for kids age 4 to 12, and it runs from I think 6 to like 10 o'clock at night, and it's $65 per kid, and I believe your kids have to be fully potty trained, but it's all like Pixar based, Woody and Jessie, and it's all going to be like Pixar themed childcare, so it'll be interesting to see how the reviews on that are. Otherwise, other news, I don't know anything else that's really big that has happened. That was just things off the top of my head, so I think that'll be it, because I'm pretty much probably boring everybody out there as I ramble. I just wanted to get an episode out there. I apologize. I know it's not up to our standards, and I'm sorry. Sometimes things just don't work out in your weekly life. So, I just want to thank everybody for tuning in this week, and let me know if I bored you, on Twitter, Facebook, or whatever it is. You can send your hate mail to Scott at Enchanted Tiki Talk, Matt at Enchanted Tiki Talk, and Keith at Enchanted Tiki Talk. Just not me, because you send your love letters to me. That's what I like to hear. I need to see that I'm loved. But in all seriousness, everybody, thank you so much for constantly tuning in, listening, and interacting with us on Facebook and Twitter. And we're always out there, we're always available, even in emails. If you want to send us emails and ask questions, hey, go for it. We like that. I especially like getting, I guess every month or so I'll get an email from a listener just talking about how much they love the show or opinions for things. And I like receiving emails and talking with things and building a relationship with the listeners out there. It's fun. I enjoy that, and I'm sure some of you do too, and that's why you reach out to us. So thank you for tuning in, and have a magical week. See ya.